All right, we've talked about bully tipping a bunch of times on this show. Professor, can you quiet your throat? No, it's like your throat clearing and coughing it's like you're like almost right into the microphone.
But have you noticed it's been more in the last
It has been, yes.
Because I'm super phlegmy in the last 48 hours.
I don't want to hear about your...
Yeah, it's really...
Why don't you move to Flemington, New Jersey then? Okay. All right, so here we go. It's guilt tipping, man. The answer is guilt tipping. And the answer is don't be bullied into guilt tipping. I refuse to tip in places that we never tipped them until like 2 years ago, with everyone looking for a tip on everything these days. So I came across a story and some stats that Americans are forking over, on average, close to $500 a year in tipping more than we want to tip. This is new research I'm telling you, it's guilt tipping. It is out of control. And, there are signs that Americans are starting to push back a little bit here on guilt tipping. I've been pushing back since the advent, since the beginning of guilt tipping, which, it started really in earnest. It really got bad, during COVID. And I understood that in certain situations where you wouldn't tip because of COVID and people working, that there was a place. But then after COVID ended, per se, people then expected the COVID tipping to continue. And it's just morphed into this guilt tipping. And then the addition of places where you never used to previously tip, hands are out for a tip. But this is really dramatic. New research shows that the average American spends an estimated $454 a year tipping more than they'd like to. 26% of the people in this research, this survey, say they're always or often put on the spot and guilted into tipping more than they normally would tip, or if ever they would tip on a particular purchase or a service, for instance. Wow. I mean, that's significant money. I mean, $454, I mean, close to $500. What could you do with the $500? Buy your kids some more clothes, some more shoes, whatever.
Send him to camp.
I mean, close to $500 a year that people are being guilt-tipped into, shelling out that kind of money.
I was at Sparkman Wharf, and they have like this little stand where they sell like pre-made popsicles.
Are you talking about they have all the metal containers?
No, that's where it is. But they had like a cart, right?
Okay, so there's a cart.
Yeah,
because they also have some of the businesses inside the metal shipping containers.
And I'm there with my son, and they have all these funky flavors. Like, not like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. It was like, mango, agave.
Lemon turd.
Yeah, I wish they had something as good as a lemon turd.
Lemon turd.
That's interesting.
Notice the real brown flecks.
So we get come on.
We get the lemon turd.
Lemon curd is good. Lemon turd is not.
So after I had my vanilla vomit, Hudson enjoyed the lemon turd, and then the woman, she was very friendly, and I ordered my two, and it wasn't expensive. It was like that weird thing where it's not too much money, but it wasn't cheap. It was like $12 for two popsicles. And I'm like,
that's like $6 a popsicle.
I was like, okay,
that's pretty expensive for a popsicle.
I'm like, okay, this better be the best damn lemon turd popsicle I've ever had in my whole life. And she goes, and we're going to ask you one little question on the screen.
What might that little question be? Would you like to tip on top of your $6 popsicle?
It was like $3, $5, $7.
Wait, hold on. It wasn't even a percent?
I think it was like had hard dollar
amounts. Those were hard dollar amounts,
and,
not even a percent?
And then it was like, or skip. And I'm like, I'm just going to...
Because if you were at $12, 10% tip would be what, $1.20.
Yeah.
If you were at the 20%, it would be what, $2.40.
Yeah. So but it was like $2, $4, or $6, or something.
Or
like
the other button, the last button was send my kid to college.
Right. And I'm like, I'm just gonna hit the skip right here, and she's like, here's your lemon turd.
Yeah.
Turd.
Well, then when you don't tip, you got the ones that are looking. They're kind of hovering to see if you tip. You got the hoverers. And then, but that's where the guilt comes in that, oh, they're watching me. Oh, no, man, they're watching. What if I hit no tip? Or some of those tipping devices, the screens that pop up, it makes it difficult. It's like, just give me a no tip button. Or a lot of times it's other or customize. Yeah. And then you got to go through a whole different like series, like some kind of rat through a maze to get to the I don't want a tip.
How about when you do get guilted to tip and nobody even acknwledges you?
Because
you just press the button.
So hold on. You're admitting that you get guilted into tipping?
100%. Yes. 20%, 25%. Yes. Okay.
You're like a plastic bag blowing in the wind?
She's the person they're looking for.
I'm the mark. Yes. So sometimes I get guilted.
You're the sucker that they're waiting for?
When they in the drive-through Starbucks, if they treat me well and then they show me, really friendly, give me some smiles. I'm like, all right, you're getting a tip. Here you go.
You're already paying. You're paying 5 times the price for the drink at Starbucks than you probably should.
Thanks for being nice to me.
And then you're being guilted on tipping on top of your expensive Starbucks purchase.
It's crazy. It's insane. But then this is what really makes me mad is if I do get guilt tipped and I do it, and then nobody even makes eye contact with me. They don't even say thank you. They don't even care. I'm like, I guess I could have just done a big 0 and this would have been the same treatment I would have received.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it would have been. My family and I, once every couple of weeks, we go to a very, very, very fancy takeout pizza place.
Which one? That's the Pizza? Is that Little Caesars?
Yeah, it's like once every 2 months. But every couple of weeks, we are bigger fans of Domino's. Very fancy.
Oh, Domino's.
They hail from Michigan.
Domino's
originated out of Ypsilanti.
But originally, I think they're from Tuscany. Or are they from Puglia? Where are they from?
They emigrated to Ypsilanti, but originally.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, that was the first place I ever went where the guy turns the screen around and said, "They're going to ask you one question," and I remember that. So now I pay on the app. I'll order the pizza on the app and then pay with the card I have, and there's no opportunity for tip.
Gosh, you guys really hate tipping.
Yeah, and they know. They're like,
I have no problem tipping where tipping is customary. I'm just not getting roped in and suckered into this newfangled tipping where there are products, services, places you've gone to where a tip has never been expected, and then suddenly, boom, they're expecting you to leave a tip. I'm not going to be guilt-tipped. I have no problem pushing no in front of them. If I'm going to a fast food restaurant to pick up something from a counter and they're flipping a screen around or the screen wants me to tip, no. If I'm going to a nice restaurant and I get great service and the server is attentive, tip at least a 20% tip on tax. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to go to a fast food joint, pick up a burger and fries. I'm not going to Shake Shack and leaving a tip. All right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
all right.
It's going to be too much.
Anyway, back around, Americans are spending nearly $500 a year on tipping more than they like to, and that includes guilt tipping.